Okay, in today's video, we're going to go through 5 stocks that I'm looking at trading possibly tomorrow, what transpired in the market today, what the indexes look like. So we have a lot to go through, and let's just jump right into it. So Tesla was in the top 10 on Saturday. If you did not watch that top 10, I strongly recommend that you watch it. I came in short the idea, did okay this morning, didn't really kill it. The one thing that has me concerned about the short is this little tweezer pinch right here. So as we know, wicks are price rejection. Let me zoom in on this, right? So if we know that wicks are price rejection and we're rejecting the selling, that's something I have to pay attention to. And then I kind of see how that just fits right in line with whatever the open was. So whoever was selling here at this open, or whoever was at that level, they seem to have an interest here, right? I'm going on an assumption, but I think it's a valid one. So this worked off this little neckline right here, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, rolling. But look at this. Let me show you this on an hourly chart. And I would suggest looking at multiple time frames right now. So I'm just wedged in there right now. And I'm holding this level, but I'm really wedged in there. So I'm not saying that you should be going long it. I'm saying that if you're short, which I still am short, let me be very clear here, that is the path of least resistance. We really want to see it break that level for confirmation. So the level you're waiting to see it break for confirmation is going to be 266.53. If you break that, you're probably heading back down to this level. I know a lot of people like looking at the low anchored VWAP, and I'm not going to suggest not to use it. What I'm going to simply suggest is if you do use it and you look at these levels, just keep in mind how it's acted in the past at those levels. For example, let me clean these off and put this one back. So you can see that's the low, the previous low of this move right over the year. So you could see it broke here, it broke here, it broke here. So it's not really respecting it. So to go on the assumption that the fourth time it's going to respect it is probably not ideal. You're probably better off saying, hey, I'm going to look at this level right here. So that's one thing that I would definitely focus on. Something else that I would focus on, if you're using anchored VWAP, just take a volume by price and put it in at the same time. Because what that will do is that will show you where point of control is, and then you can see where the majority of transactions were executed at and where the majority of people are in at what price versus the average, right? It gives you a little more detail. So that kind of gets you back down to this level that we're talking about, 245. So I still think it's possible, but again, just remember, you're wedged in here right on that hourly chart. So it is possible that we do not break. It's possible we break out of that, right? See, I'm sitting right on that point of control level and we go higher. Why am I focusing on this? Because there's a lot of other names out there that are completely breaking down. And let's get rid of the volume by price now. That's our lesson for the night. So what's getting me about names like Apple is tomorrow at 10 p.m. Pacific time or 10 a.m. Pacific time, on September 7th, you're going to have your big day. You're going to have the iPhone unveiled. This is not acting like it acts ahead of that at all. Now, forget about this on the hourly and forget about what's been going on, right? Let's just focus on the past 15-minute charts. This is from the educational class in the trading room. Let me just clean all that off. So what we're focused on here is how you're bouncing and then you're breaking down, right? Form a little bear flag, try to get over the flagpole, wham, right? Matumbo, completely rejected. So now what do? Well, you have to see if you hold this 153.69, and I'm not so sure that you're going to, right? So usually these events are sell the news. I don't know if it's going to be sell the news or not. I know that I'm below the 200. Okay, I know that's an issue. I know that I am a lower low below the 50-day. This is not where you want to be. And you're going into this meeting tomorrow. It's, I don't know what they're going to say, but this does not look like it's going to be ideal. So if you take that lower low out tomorrow, which is 153.69, you have a short there. I mean, some of the stuff that we're doing right now is just picking stuff off. We did that today with this trade. I mean, we shorted it and then covered it. And that was it. You're basically trying to pick up pennies right now until this whole market picks a direction. And we're going to do the indexes at the end. But if you just see, you are having follow through the entire time. There's nothing redeeming. This is another one we shorted. There's nothing redeeming about this chart on NVIDIA. Nothing. So there's nothing redeeming about the leaders. And there's nothing redeeming about these charts. So what else could we look at? Well, there's this rumor floating around, and I can only refer to it as a rumor because I don't see anybody confirming who it is, that there is a massive $1.5 trillion out there in margin calls in the oil market. But if you look at UNG today and how it acted, it didn't act, ideal. Now, if you take a look at this versus Boyle, which is 2x, this was down over 20% today. So this is a really unusual move for the market. Why am I bringing this up? Because the one thing that's always scared me about what's going on right now is do we have a Lehman event that's out there? Do we have some kind of event out there that we're just not aware of? And I'm kind of leaning that this might be something that we need to be watching. And I'm not really sure how this coincides with seeing some of these European facilities shut down. I haven't connected all the dots yet, to be completely candid, but you need to be watching natural gas futures right now. I know it's completely boring, but they're down 9% on the day, and they were down even more at one point. They were down well over 10% on the day. But this is Oxy, and I just want to point this out. This is why you always honor your stops. Stopped out, made $5. Everybody would rather make $5 than break even, right? But you're breaking, and you shouldn't be breaking. So to me, that means that we could be seeing pressure on these names. So I would watch this very closely, and I would just kind of see how this whole sector plays out. And what was fascinating to me is coal names like AMR went up today. Arch went up today. I'm getting to something. That's why I'm doing this. So you have a ton of uncertainty. So what does this mean? I would watch energy, and I would look for signs and cracks in energy. Now, some of the other names out there that I think are tradable is you need to start looking at the singular names, the names that have absolutely nothing to do with sectors. They're the ones that are going to move and see inflow, and they're going to see a lot of capital go into them. And I'll give you some examples. So this is one that I actually caught late. I just had a lot going on today, quite frankly, but it's one I caught late, and I probably wouldn't have done anything anyway until I got over here. But just, full disclosure, I have a position in this. Phase 3 trial went exceptionally well. I think people are going to read about this phase 3 trial tonight. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but the name of the company is IC, and they focus on macular degeneration and making your eyesight better. But this, to me, you're really setting up here. And flipping 15 and holding 15 is huge, but this is the news you want. This, if you were long this and you were a bull in this stock, and you've been a bull in this stock, let's say for, since it broke down and it was this, probably from one of the phase trials, and it's never going to work, this is your redemption news. So you're going to see a massive spike like you saw here, and you're going to see a lot of people put money to work in a stock that has a phase 3 trial. You'll see a lot of money go into work there. So that's the kind of names you should be looking for, these one-offs that have absolutely nothing to do with anything else. Now, look at CFVI. Okay, CFVI, everyone knows that this is, maybe Rumble someday, maybe. You had your little wedge here where you had basically your triple inside day, right? 1, 2, 3, and then breaks and goes. Your volume's picking up, and now you're through 1309. You could really use 1309 as a stop level, quite frankly. Here, take a look at this. And you can kind of see the battle right here. Bonk, 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 right? So you have this battle going on right here. So that is resistance. Resistance flips to what? Support. So if you think about it from that perspective, this could have legs if you pull back, maybe form a flag, and then go again, something like this. If you just take out this high and you want to try it, go for it. But you're flying without a net at this point in this kind of environment. And we should really talk about the indexes. But I do want to get into a couple others here. So look, Best Buy, this news, very sad news of the CFO. Obviously this is just going to get absolutely destroyed, but it's rolling over into all of them, right? So now you're seeing AMC getting absolutely destroyed, GME getting absolutely destroyed. It might be time for these to come back to earth, and people say these moves are over. You want these to bounce and then to take a look at them again. So they're not things that you should be looking at for tomorrow, but just understand the kind of order flow that you're seeing right now. I would say this. You're seeing names like these auto manufacturers that were supposed to rally Tesla, and you're seeing them just take out all-time lows. Okay, XPEV, this is just probably an outright short still, and you can just see how it's been acting since it got to that level. You know, it's probably one of those that is not around in 3 to 6 months. So keep that in mind if you're looking for short ideas. That seems very not tied to the market at all, and very focused on a company specific idea. And I think that's what you need to be looking at until this settles down. Reminder, CPI is September 13th, and we have Powell speaking on Thursday, and that didn't go ideal last time after Jackson Hole. If you look at the SPY, you can see how you're holding that 50-day, and that's the SMA, broke. No matter how you want to slice it, we held 390, but we still closed at a lower low. So that's not ideal, and we made an outside lower low on the weekly chart, right? So we've already set ourselves up here, okay, for a lower low on the weekly chart, right? So we're aware of that. The more troubling thing for me, I'm going to go through the cues, but then I'll point to something that's very troubling. Yes, you broke the anchored VWAP here. Yes, you've had the lower low is more troubling to me. The fact that I couldn't get above the low of this bar is more troubling to me. I'm not really worried about the anchored VWAP because we broke it a couple times, so to think that it was going to hold this time is just kind of silly. But the declining 21 and how that's about to cross the 50 unless something happens, that's a concern. But more of the concern that I see that's bothering me is the VIX. You're not seeing any bounce whatsoever. You're not seeing a huge rally. 5% is nothing for what's going on underneath the hood here internally on the market. So especially if they're talking about this huge margin call out there, that might be a possibility. This is just acting like, we're just selling off a little bit. It's not acting like there's this large looming crisis, and that bothers me. So that's it for today. I gave a little more specifics than usual. It's very trying times. Please comment on the video. Tell me what you like about them, what you don't like about them. I'm creating content for you. So if you tell me what you like and what you find helpful, I can create more of that. So if you're interested in the trading room, there's a preview link right up here in the top right corner. Just simply click to take a look. Everybody have a great day. You honor your stops and trade to win tomorrow.